Hi, my name is Terry Ladd, and I'm the creator of the OSHA safety program for painting contractors. I want to tell you a little bit about my program and why I think that you need it for your business. But before I go into all that, I want to tell you a little bit about my story and why I think you should listen to me. I was a painting contractor in California, in San Francisco specifically, for a number of years. I had 65 guys working for me. I was running a big shop. We were doing more than $4 million worth of work a year. And I really wasn't paying attention to safety. I put my head in the sand about it. I was just praying that nothing would go wrong. And that worked until it didn't work. I had a painter fall off a ladder. He broke a couple of ribs. And that just sparked this great big investigation. I had OSHA, the EPA, the Department of Public Health. I even had the San Francisco Building Inspector's Office up in my business. Long story short, it took me a full year to get all of that cleaned up. Along the way, it was about $80,000 out of pocket, and I estimate that it cost me about $350,000 in lost work that year because I wasn't paying attention to my business. I was too busy dealing with lawyers and inspectors and certified industrial hygienists and all of that. But at the end of it, I'd become an EPA certified lead inspector. I'd taken a bunch of advanced coursework on OSHA compliance. I had a certified industrial hygienist work with me in my business for 8 months, and we had a bulletproof safety program. At the end of it, I'd solved a lot of problems. I wouldn't wish that nightmare on my worst enemy, going through that whole investigation. I tried to find a solution to get right with OSHA and the EPA and all the safety things that I needed to do, and there just wasn't anything out there. So I ended up taking the time to do it myself, and I geeked out on it. That's what I do. But by the end of it, I had a really strong safety program. And then what I really realized was that there were a lot of painting contractors out there who could also use and benefit from all the learning that I had done. So at that point, I decided, hey, let me put together a safety program. Let me codify everything that I'd done and put it into a program and make it really easy for all of my brothers out there that were swinging a brush or managing painters. So that's what I did. And that's what I'm going to tell you more about now, my OSHA safety program for painting contractors. So let's start with this. OSHA basically wants to see three things. They want to see that you've got a written safety program that everybody in your company knows about and agrees to follow. Doesn't matter whether it's employees, subs, some other sort of contract work. Everybody who's doing work for you must know about the program and agree to follow it. The second thing they want to see is that you're doing some sort of ongoing safety briefings with the guys. The idea here is that you're going to keep the safety topics top of mind associated with the tasks that these guys are performing in the field. So that when they're doing scraping or sanding, when they're climbing up on a ladder, when they're using a spray rig, whatever it is, they need to understand what the potential hazards are and how to deal with them. So ongoing safety briefings keeps that top of mind with them while they're doing that. The third thing that OSHA wants to see is that you're doing some sort of enforcement of those safe work practices. They want to know that you're out there in the field making sure that the guys are taking the right precautions to avoid or mitigate the hazards that they run into during the normal course of their work. So let me tell you a little bit about the program. The first thing that you need to know is that I've removed all the complexity and I've made it really simple. What I did was I went into all the OSHA regulations and I teased out all of the topics that are appropriate for you as a painting contractor. Then I translated those into plain English. So you don't have to go in there and read all this legalese and this bureaucratic language. I mean, it takes a law degree practically to understand what's in there. And I've done all that work for you. I've done all that heavy lifting. The second thing that I did was I made it really simple and easy for you to implement. I gathered all the information into one place. It's all on a website. You can step through it in a course-like manner, or you can use it as a reference. I've also built a mobile app that's got all of the safety briefings in it. It's got the field inspection forms so you can document that you're doing safe work practices. It's got all of that in it. So that's the second piece. Then what I did was I made the app multi-user so that you don't have to be in all places at all times. You can delegate some of these tasks to your guys in the field. That way you can get the safety briefings done, the field inspections done, and you don't have to be the one that's trying to be in all places at all times. Even better yet, you can sit back in the office and looking at our desktop dashboard, you're actually able to track what's getting done and what isn't. You can manage it all from one location. You've got full visibility into it right from one location. And if you take all of that together, basically what I've done is I've reduced the risk of your workers having an accident or an injury, and I've also made it so that your business is protected from heavy fines and insane insurance rates. So now let me tell you what's in the program. It's basically two major components, the first of which is the written safety program. What I did was I took those regulations, the OSHA regulations, and I teased out the 25 important safety topics, and I put together a written program. What I end up doing for you is I end up tailoring it for your business. I put your name and address, telephone number, and all the specific places within it, and I give you that the written plan. So you get 25 written safety plans that cover all the different topics that are appropriate for you as a painting contractor. But those 25 written plans, you're not going to read 600 pages of written plans. Your painters aren't going to read 600 pages of written plans. But you need to understand what's in them. So I created an explainer website that's got a one-page executive summary of each of those different topics. And it's in plain English, bullet pointed, each one of those executive summaries, what your guys are supposed to be doing in the field so you know what to expect for, what you're supposed to do as the business owner or general manager, and anything else that I think you need to know about so you can speak intelligently about all these safety topics. Now this explainer website, you can walk through it as a course. I've set it up that you can go through all the different topics as a course, or you can use it just as a reference. You want to learn more about what's required with scaffolding? Go to the scaffolding section when you need it. You're not doing any light carpentry now? Don't read the light carpentry part. When it's time to read about light carpentry, go in and see it. Respiratory protection, ladder safety, personal protective equipment, hearing, eyesight, all those different topics are covered off in here. And the final piece of the written safety program is that I provide email and telephone support for the life of the program. So if you have questions about implementation or you end up having an inspector on a job site and you've got some questions, you pick up the phone, you shoot me an email, and I get right back to you and we talk through the best way to handle it. So that's the first piece, the major component. The second piece that I want to tell you about is the great mobile app that we developed. It's got 54 safety briefings in both English and Spanish. It's got field inspection forms so you can do safety inspections to document that you're enforcing these safe work practices. As a bonus, it's even got all of the EPA RRP forms in there. The renovation record keeping checklist, the client disclosure sign off. It's got all of that in there as a bonus. The best thing about the mobile app, though, is that all of this documentation is securely stored in the cloud. You can access it from any internet-connected device, your cell phone, a tablet, a laptop, desktop. If you ever get into a situation where you need to document that you've been doing all of these things, safety briefings, field inspections, EPA sign-offs, if you're doing lead work, any of that sort of stuff, all you have to do is open up the laptop, pull it up, say, Mr. Inspector, there it is. What would you like to see? It's all there. It's documented by the date. It's all date stamped. It's got all of the content in there. And like I said, it's securely stored in the cloud. So it's a great tool. It makes it really easy to put all of this in place and document it all. If you can't document it, it never happened. So that's really a key piece of this. You could be doing everything right, but if you're not documenting it, it doesn't matter. It never happens. Now listen, I know that safety isn't sexy, but here's the deal. If you don't take action to protect your workers and your business, it's just a matter of time before you get in trouble with OSHA. And when OSHA shows up, they're going to write you a fine. The question is it the $300 variety, the $3,000 variety, or the $30,000 variety? My program makes it simple and easy to protect your workers and your business, and it's cheap insurance. So do me a favor, hit the button below and go learn a little bit more about it and sign up right away. I'll be in touch as soon as you sign up and we'll get this thing going and you'll be protecting both your workers and your business. Thanks for listening.